Hello friends, welcome back. My name is Carol and I'm passionate about plants. Welcome to my blog, the third in a series of taking care of your house plants, tips and tricks. My plant of the day that I have chosen today is my beautiful silver mist begonia. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Begonias was not a plant that I was really dying to have. And once I started to get a little tickle for them, I was afraid to buy one because I don't have a lot of space in my apartment. I'm an apartment person. I don't have a big house or outside place where I can put plants in, like, let's say a pop-up greenhouse or anything like that. So I'm limited on the space that I have. And most begonias, they come and they look so cute and adorable. And if you treat them well, they will get ginormous. If you want to see how ginormous they get, just go on Instagram and follow some of the begonia people that are crazy about begonias, and you can see that they can just take up a whole entire corner, some of the begonias in your house. And I was not looking for that type of plant. This begonia was suggested to me by Kathy. She works at the cutest, I'm addicted to this plant place. It's a little plant shop, a comic book store called Rhizomes in Cameron, New Jersey. And they just have the most unique, beautiful plants. They're one of the few plant stores in the area, plant shops that they carry my favorite prayer plants. Lots of rare types of plants, like hard to find lipstick plants, that sort of thing. So I just love her. I love Chelsea and Brian, both owners. Chelsea, she's just so knowledgeable about plants in general. So when I told Kathy, one of her employees, that I was looking for a begonia, but I was scared to buy one. They had a whole table set up right before Valentine's Day. Or was it January? I think it might have been January, when the new year came in with begonias. Apparently begonias are estimated to be the it plant for 2025. So I said, I want to kind of dip my toes into the begonia plant genus, but I just don't have room for them to grow ginormous. She suggested this plant. This one will not get too big. It'll stay pot size, so you can keep it on like, let's say, a coffee table. Or my girl, I have her sitting on my dinette table, which is just 2 feet adjacent to my kitchen. This is a perfect spot for her because she's right behind me in front of these 2 big windows. This is west facing, so it gets afternoon sun, but she's a good 5 to 6 feet away from that window, and the windows have a kind of a film on them that causes it to be filtered. So she's getting some great afternoon filtered light for at least 2 hours a day. Actually, the sun rays touch her for at least an hour a day, and because it's filtered, she's loving life. She's given me all kinds of, I don't know if you can see, new growth in there, little baby leaves. That's how you can tell your plant is happy. This plant in general does not like to dry out. So I've kept her in her nursery pot. I haven't really touched her yet because I felt that this was the right size for her, and I didn't have a clear nursery pot, which is my preferred home for my plants, because then I can see the roots. I'm going to give it until spring and summer, remove her from the pot and see what her roots look like, and then I'll make a decision on whether I'll put her in a clear pot this size or I'll just keep her in this one. But if you look at this, she's got drainage holes. This is so important when you're watering your plants. She likes to be moist constantly. Most begonias do. In fact, all begonias do. But they do not like to sit in water. Their roots will rot, and you'll lose your plant that way. I always let this girl dry out, but not completely, almost to that dry out point between waterings. And I don't know if you can tell this, but these leaves are they have these little hairs. There you go, you can see that. Even the stems do. So any plant that has that type of architecture on their foliage, they are prone to mold and mildew growth if they get wet. So I got one of these water bottles on Amazon, and it gives me the ability to water her and not get anything on her little baby leaves. So that's helped me keep from getting these leaves wet, which would cause mildew buildup on the plant. So we already covered she likes a well draining soil. You should always have the drainage holes for her. Humidity wise, these plants come from Brazil and Mexico, so they come from a more humid environment. The parts of Mexico that are tropical in nature, and also Brazil, tropical rainforests. So they come from the forest floor. So they prefer to have a humidity. I have found, they say higher, at least 70%, but my house goes anywhere between 50 to 65%. And even for prolonged periods of time, this plant does absolutely phenomenal. Doesn't get any crisping or anything like that. As far as temperatures, they say they like higher temperatures, but in my home, I keep my temperatures anywhere between 65 and 70. Sometimes I'll drop down as far as 60, and she does just fine with that. She hasn't thrown a fit, dropped a whole bunch of leaves, or shriveled up, or done anything like that. It's important to remember that the water that you pick for this plant, they don't like chemicals. I think you can see, if you watched my other videos, there is a pattern. This plant also, like the others I have covered, does not like lots of buildup of minerals or chemicals to touch its roots. So you can either catch rainwater, which I say is mother's milk to plants. That's what they would get in nature, where they originated from. Or you can use distilled water, which is what I choose to do, or you can filter water, and that would work just fine. They do get these beautiful, beautiful flowers. I haven't been blessed with any yet. They're bright green and red, and they have like wings, wing shape, which is just such a beautiful contrast between the leaves and the flowers. So I'm hoping to get her to maybe flower this spring or summer. I mean, that would be wonderful to see. Other than that, as far as fertilizers, this plant is very sensitive fertilizer. Like I've said before, you don't want to give any kind of fertilizer to your plants for the first month or two, even if you bring them home in the summer, because you don't know the last time they got fed. And you don't want to give your plant the roots fertilizer burn. When you do fertilize, they like an organic fertilizer. I mean, think about it. And that's what they would get out in nature. It would be organic. It wouldn't be chemical. Chemicals are not falling from the sky, relatively speaking, in the rainforests of Brazil and Mexico. So I use organic for her, and she's loving life, and she is continuing to give me lots of little baby growth under there. And I do think it's kind of cool that when you look underneath her leaves, she's got this blushing of, I think it's purple because I love purple. Others would say it's kind of a red, but it's just a striking plant. Doesn't get too big. And yeah, she's been doing pretty well for me on my little kitchenette table. And I can't wait to watch her grow. I think she's going to grow into a very nice adult plant. So again, thanks for watching me. If you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, give it a like, and feel free to subscribe to my page for videos that are upcoming. And again, have a good day, and remember to give your plants plenty of love.